Love a good textured crochet stitch that's fairly easy to complete? If you do, you're gonna love the Prairie Stitch and Crochet. I'm Rachel from Hope Corner Farm, and by day I'm a home ec teacher who teaches hundreds of students how to crochet. And if you're ready to learn how to crochet the Prairie Stitch, let's grab a hook and some yarn and we'll get crocheting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos, and don't forget to give me some feedback on this video. Give me a like or a comment, let me know what I did well or things that I could improve upon. So before we start the Prairie Stitch, you're going to have to gather a few things. First off, you need a crochet hook. For today's tutorial, I'm using a size J 6.0 millimeter crochet hook. You're also going to need a yarn of your choosing. For this tutorial, I'm using a size 4 medium weight yarn. And this crochet tutorial is using US crochet terms. Once you've gathered your stuff, let's get going. So the first way to start this crochet stitch is to start by chaining an even number of chains. So I have chained 12 here. So again, if you were going to start with a chain start, you're going to start by chaining an even number. Again, I chained 12. After chaining your even number, you're going to begin by working into the second chain from the hook, and into that second chain from the hook, you're going to place a regular single crochet stitch. After putting a single crochet in that second chain from the hook, you are then going to place one single crochet stitch in each chain across. So at the end of this row, your stitch count is going to be reduced by 1 because you worked into that second chain from the hook. So you will then have an odd number of stitches. So at the end of this row, because I chained 12, I'm going to have 11 as my stitch count. And here's my last chain, and I'll place one single crochet in there. So again, one option is to begin by chaining an even number and then placing one single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across, which will then give you an odd number. Now I'll show you the other way to start this stitch. The other way that you can start this crochet stitch is by foundation single crocheting 11 times. Now the foundation single crochet stitch is going to take the place of the chain start as well as row 1 where you're putting a single crochet in each stitch across. So keep that in mind. You could either begin by chaining an even number and then you would work a single crochet into the second chain from the hook and in each stitch across, which would then give you a row of 11 single crochet stitches. Or you could foundation single crochet 11 times, and that takes the place of the chain and the single crochet row. Either way works. No matter which starting method you choose, whether it be the chain and then a row of single crochets or a foundation single crochet, from here on out, from row 2 and beyond, everything is exactly the same. So for row 2, you're going to start by chaining 2, and then you're going to turn your work. You're going to skip over this first stitch. Into the second stitch, you're going to place 2 half double crochet stitches. So there's 1 and 2. Now you're going to skip a stitch, and into the next one, you're going to place 2 half double crochet stitches. And that's all you have to do here for row 2. You're going to skip and then 2 half double crochets in the next. And you're going to go all the way until you have 1 stitch left. So skip and then 2 half double crochets. Skip, 2 half double crochets. Then you'll have 1 stitch remaining for the row, and into that last stitch you place 1 singular half double crochet stitch, and that completes row 2. For row 3, we're going to begin by chaining 1 and turning our work. We're going to place 1 single crochet stitch in all of these stitches across until we get to the very end. The very end is just a little bit different, and I'll get to the end here and I'll show you, but we're placing 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch across here until we get to the very last couple of stitches. And it's just a little goofy because we did count that chain 2 as a stitch. So here we are, we're towards the end here, And here's my chain 2. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to skip over this stitch right here, and we're going to place our last single crochet into the top of that chain 2. So we're skipping over this, and we're putting our last single crochet into this stitch. That's going to help keep things nice and square. It's also going to keep your crochet stitch count the same. If you were to work into that stitch, you would actually gain a stitch and your work would start to grow. So you want to make sure, again, when you get to the end here, it's going to look like you should have 2 spaces to work into, this one as well as the chain. We're going to actually skip over this last stitch here, and we're going to work our final single crochet into the top of the chain 2 to complete row 3. Now from this point on for the remainder of your project, you're just going to keep alternating row 2 and row 3. So we just completed a row 3, so our next row would be a repeat of row 2. So we would start by chaining 2 and turning our work. Remember, we skipped that first stitch, and into the next one we work 2 half double crochets. So there's 1, 2. We skip a stitch, we go to the next one, and we place 2 half double crochets. We skip, go to the next one, 2 half double crochets, skip, go to the next one, 2 half double crochets, skip, go to the next one, 2 half double crochets, and then 1 singular half double crochet in the very last stitch of the row. That would complete a repeat of row 2. Now your next row would be a repeat of row 3, which was your row of single crochet stitches. So remember, you start that by chaining 1 and turning, and then you work into the first stitch right here, place a single crochet stitch, and place a single crochet stitch in each of these stitches across until you get to the very end of the row. And remember, at the end of the row, it is a little bit different. I'll just remind you what that looks like here in a second. One thing to note, remember in row 2, that chain 2 does indeed count as a stitch and is counted in our stitch count, whereas in this row, the chain 1 is not. So a little bit funny there. So remember, when you get to the end of this row, we're going to skip over this stitch right here, and we're going to work into the top of that chain 2. So we're skipping over this, skipping over that guy, and we're going to work our last single crochet into the top of this guy. And that helps keep things nice and square looking. And that's the Prairie Stitch and Crochet. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos. You can also check out my blog, hopecornerfarm.com, where I have a lot of other crochet tutorials that are written and photo tutorials as well. And if you're looking for another fun crochet stitch that's pretty easy to complete, you could check out my herringbone half double crochet stitch tutorial right here. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.